Hello and welcome to this exam question video today. We're going to be looking at components of fitness applied in sports in this video, and this question here from the exam paper 1 is looking at balance. Now these questions could be any other component of fitness. This could be coordination, this could be strength, this could be aerobic endurance, whatever it might be. The same principles of answering and structuring your answer remain the same, and as soon as we start to see the number of marks go up, do we see a 4 marker, do we see a 6 marker, what we start to need to be thinking is of our assessment objectives. And we've got AO1, AO2, AO3, which can be assessed within the papers. AO4 is obviously within coursework and practical, but AO1, AO2, AO3. So to start answering this question, first let's look at what those 3 objectives are. So AO1, if I just put A1, A2 and A3. The first is just knowledge of terms. So this is to know about different factors. So this could be the definitions, this could be the broad but very shallow definition of a range of different factors which you come across within sport, PE, activity, physiology, whatever it might be. Can you define it? Do you know almost the dictionary definition of that term? AO2 is then you being able to apply that a little bit more specifically to the body, to physiology, to exercise, to physical activity. So just to develop that definition a little bit more, to apply it to the human body in motion, in sport, whatever it might be. So AO1 is just knowledge, there are defined terms. AO2, can you expand on them? Can you apply them to the physiology, to the psychology of a person, to a human in action? And then AO3 is another layer deeper. And that's your ability to start to analyse or evaluate or justify. You start to have to utilise your understanding. You have to use it and weigh things up and apply it in specific situations and look at the pros and cons and perhaps even arrive at your own conclusion. So different terms that we need to be on the lookout for AO1 assessment are things like state or define or describe, outline. Very simple, easy to answer cue words. AO2, we start to hear terms such as explain, develop, expand. And then when we start to get down to AO3, where we need to be able to analyse the information that we know, that's where we start to see command words such as justify, analyse itself. It could be evaluate. It could be discuss, apply, when used in conjunction with some of these other terms as well, or applying to a particular sporting context. So to be able to justify, to evaluate, to discuss, we need to, first of all, know a term. We need to understand how it applies to the broader picture, the broader environment of the body in sport or physical activity. And then we need to be able to look at it from different perspectives. We need to be able to look at the pros, look at the cons, the advantages or the drawbacks, and then reach some form of conclusion. So if we jump back to the question that we had here, justify. So we've got that word there, that AO3 word. We need to be able to give solid reasons for some reason or another. So why is balance an important component of fitness for netball or basketball? So not only do we need to know the definition for balance, not only do we need to know why balance is good for the body, but we also need to know why it's really important for netballers and basketballers. So in what particular context in these two sports is balance a very important component of fitness? So for this question, what is balance? Well, we know balance is the ability to maintain someone's centre of mass over their base of support. That's the AO1, your defined term. AO2, well, what does balance look like in the body? What does it aid? What does it lead to? Well, it leads to stability. So if we can achieve balance in the body, it means in sport we can achieve stability. We've got a stronger base to act off from. Now in some sports that's not very important, but in others it is. And in the case of netball and basketball, it is important. So then for your other marks, your 2 or 3 additional marks, you then need to be able to say why and when stability caused by balance is important in these 2 games. And it might be in marking, it might be in the attack, it might be in the defence, it might be in shooting, it might be in the stealing of the ball or movement into new positions on the court. So if we take, for example, shooting, why would a netball player need balance or stability during a shot? Or if they didn't have stability and they were off balance, then they wouldn't have a strong base of support to actually produce a force from. So suddenly that force might actually start to go awry, it might go wonky, and they might lose the accuracy of their shot. A basketball player in defence, if they haven't got stability, the slightest of knocks from an opponent might be enough to put them off balance, losing them time, and it gains the attacker time to get away from them, to get into a position to perhaps shoot. So as the defender, if we lose our stable base and we go off balance, we then have to try and regain it before we can go and act positively in the game environment. So that is shooting, that is defending. Perhaps it might be agility when trying to shrug off a defender, trying to lose a marker to get into an open piece of court to receive a pass. Or to be able to actually be agile, we need to be able to move quickly without loss of speed or balance. So we need to have that dynamic relationship with our environment where we can shift our weight around and we can apply multi-directional forces and not waste time trying to regain our balance or trying to stumble back in the right direction. So if we have that strong base of support in connection with the ground, we can change our directions quickly, we can move away from our defender, carve out a bit of open space and then receive a pass. But you can look at any other contexts in those sports. You could look at shooting, you could look at defending, so long as you can describe how balance and stability are important and is beneficial to a successful action in that sport, then you're going to be picking up those AO3 points. But always start broad with your AO1, then narrow down and go a little bit deeper with your AO2 explanation of the term, and then go really specific, which is dependent on the exam question and the command words and the sporting scenarios that they give you. But that's that. So I hope you found it useful, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next one. Bye for now.